What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on a Monday. You know what that means? It means it's time for the Daily HiFi Podcast. My name is Chana. Always with me, we've got Mike and Joe. And today we've got Brandon. What is up, everybody?
What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on?
Up?
Good to have you, Brandon.
Likewise, man. It's good to be here.
Now, if you guys don't know Brandon, he has a YouTube channel called Be the Installer. Be meaning Brandon, right?
Or you can be the installer.
Hey, that's very clever. I like that.
Installer. Oh,
He actually does installs in the Southern California area down in San Diego. So this is his website. I'll drop a link in a minute. But if you haven't seen his channel, let me jump over there real quick so you guys can check out his channel. I did drop a link earlier, but there he is. There he is. Does a lot of installs. This one was interesting. He gave away a 65-inch OLED.
I saw that one. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Your buddy didn't seem super
You know what's
excited though.
funny? A lot of people said that.
I was like,
it's so weird. It was a really strange thing. He was so happy. He was over the moon. But he was in the middle of his longest work week. And so he was out in the garage, doing hundreds of orders, stressed out, preparing for the holiday. And now he was stoked, and he just wanted to stay out of my way too. So he was trying to I think we didn't do a good enough job showing their excitement was the thing,
That was cool.
Yeah.
And some people just hate getting in front of the camera, period. So they're just really reserved.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's cool.
You should have just cut it so he looked like he had no excitement.
Yeah.
Views would have went through the roof.
Yeah. I loved the thumbnail on this one. I'm like, does he actually have 6 fingers up there? He does. Oh, that's so cool.
Just five. Yeah. No, it was crazy. No one got the joke, man. I mean, sometimes you think you're sitting there thinking in your own little world, what can I do to make it cool, and then it's you waste 3 hours making a sixth finger, and then you're like, okay, that didn't play. I literally only had 5 things for that video, and I made up a 6th just so I could do that.
Oh, that's funny.
So whatever.
So you guys have no idea the struggle we go through, man. That's hilarious. That's awesome, dude.
You can waste hours making a thumbnail. You know that.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So yeah, check out his channel. I'll drop the link again down in the description. But so Brandon, why don't you tell us about your install business and what you do?
So back in the day, one of my buddies was like, "Hey, come over and install this TV for me," and I'm like, "I'm watching football. I don't want to." And so he's like, "All right, I'll pay you." And I'm like, "Okay, sounds like a deal."
I'll be there in a second.
So I worked in construction throughout college. My father was a contractor and built bridges, and so I learned the skills there. And then I worked at Circuit Cities on the weekend, making that side cash, getting those,
I did that.
Velodyne speakers and playing around in the AV rooms and stuff. And so, you know how that goes. Once you want to have one of those jobs, you spend twice as much as you make. So combine those skills, and I just started, doing installs off Craigslist and, doing it that way. And
nice.
It took maybe 6 months before I quit my job and was doing work 7 days a week. So it was pretty awesome. Been doing it ever since, man. Quick 15 years.
So you worked for Circuit City, or did they contract you to do that work? Or
no, I didn't even install for them. I just worked in the AV. I just sold TVs back when we were Sony Vegas, man. Back in the day, it was 2000. I didn't even install until 2006.
But did you sell ESP though?
I don't.
You know what that is?
Oh yeah, extended service plan.
Oh, hell yeah, I do.
Come on, man.
Damn,
baby.
I'm like guitars. There's a guitar brand called ESP.
No, ESP,
They would push
I
us.
speak some Spanish,
for the folks
yes.
out there, they would push us at Circuit City.
Speak some Spanish. Espanol, ESP.
That's where they make the most money on this extended warranty. So all they would care about is if you sold ESP. How much you sell and what percentage did you sell ESP? That's all they cared about.
Yeah. Do y'all remember the spiff? The term spiff?
Yeah.
It was how much commission you made on it?
How much everybody was making. You could see how much everybody in the store was like, "Oh man, he's winning. He's number one."
Oh, man.
Too.
Get you guys to compete like rats, dude. Just
man.
like,
That's fun,
Randall's President's Award right here.
Yeah,
You sold ESP.
Yep. That's funny, man.
The problem with that is you would start shifting what you think was the good buy based on your commission.
That is correct. Yeah, we would push certain things, and it's bad because I think even on the sticker you could actually see like what the spiff was. It was kind of encoded in there, and so we could walk up to something as you're telling somebody, you're like, all right, that one I'll make $15.
This one over
that one I'll make $28. This Harman Kardon is really sweet.
Do you know what this means?
Oh my gosh!
When they used to wear ties, do you remember what this means?
Mm-mm.
That's what would tell each other if this person was a stroker. You know what I mean? Like there's people that would come in, they'd want to look at everything, ask you all kinds of questions, and never
do not buy anything.
Like, it would be like their weekly thing. Like I've seen this guy before. don't. He's just gonna stroke
like
you.
40-year-old virgin, man. It's a good.
We always did.
Oh yeah. Go for the.
We would always call out like the B-backs, you know. So we'd call them like the B-backs, the guys that I'll be back. You ain't coming back.
Yeah.
You're just a B-back.
I would have been like, I'll be back, and I'll bring my mom. Hold on.
Spiff was the devil, Tristan says. Absolutely, man.
Oh yeah, that's what, you know what my technique at Circuit City is. I was there around the time when digital cameras first came out, so I'm like, they had an island of all digital cameras, and I'm like, this is my area. This is my area here, right?
That's
Nobody
funny.
can touch this, and so of course like. It was just the right time, and everybody was like, "Hey, what's with the digital cameras?" And then sold a ton of it. Anyway, so back to you. Sorry about that. I had to reminisce a little bit, but back to you. So how's that business installing?
Well, man, I tell you, it's been weird with COVID. You know, prior to COVID, this has all happened. Like 2020 has been fantastic. To be honest, you know, like it sucked, and it's been like terrible in general for the world, but you know, luckily I set that in place. The YouTube I set in place in like late 2019. So right when that hit, I just doubled down on YouTube.
Nice.
While I couldn't go into people's houses, so for the first few months, I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't really know what to do, and so I saw like a lot of like the AT&T guys and the Spectrum guys going into houses as essential workers. But it was going well, and there's no good retirement plan when you're a contractor, so you got to figure out what you're going to do, And so the YouTube and just kind of expanding, trying to, get more people kind of show more people the install, show more people about TVs. So it just kind of is morphing as it's going along. And so, now it's like I'll go and try to do some jobs when I have time, but I'm busy with a lot of this video, creating and stuff too.
Sure.
So it's a tough balance. We got kids at home here too, so I'm at home. My wife is a fitness. She works at a gym that's a one-on-one type gym, so they're open. So she's out of the house. So just having fun with it all. But yeah, it's always been good. It's been a good business, and I just try not to cut my fingers once in a while with the knives as you're showing there.
Yeah,
this is the video that
got a ton of views.
This is the one that I really liked a lot, because I'm like, oh my gosh, he's actually showing you what to do to like tap into the other outlet from down below, and then hide the wires, and then we get like you even do a little cable management here, and then just do all that stuff, all from like there. That's what it was before. Gotta hide all these wires. That's great, man. Like I saw that, I was just like, man, this is so cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of good videos like that I could do. It's just, I got to find some more houses to set up the camera and do all that, because there's a lot of good things, a lot of good tricks. I'm going to try to do a video where I kind of combine some of the best things, like how to run a power outlet over like 6 feet to the right without making any extra holes. You can do that if you drill through like certain ways. You can make it so you don't have to make it like, everything will be covered without doing any drywall repairs. So
nice.
There's some cool things. Hopefully get a chance to put some of those installs up,
Very cool.
Are you going to do a video about how to strip cables without a wire stripper?
Oh yeah,
Tools on you?
Absolutely. China and I can have a contest who can use our teeth or like some sort of other device to
without one copper strand being broken.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the key.
So the real challenge is trying to do it with an Ethernet cord. Try to do it with an Ethernet cord. The 8 little pieces.
That weird. Earlier, like around what was it, noon-ish? We jumped in here so Brandon can set everything up, and like I was like, "Are you connected via Wi-Fi or by Ethernet?" And he's like, "Wi-Fi." He's like, "Why is it all choppy?" I'm like, "Yeah, if you can." He's like, "I don't even know if I have one." And then like at like 3:30, he's like, "Oh, I just put one together real quick."
What do you mean you put one together? That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Got all the tools in the truck. That's the good thing, man. I always got tools for projects, and my wife always puts me to work making something in the house. So. Got all the tools.
You said you have kids. How old are they?
I have a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old, so 2 boys.
Got some young ones.
Yeah, Aiden's 10, and he's a little beast, a little like athlete, man. He's just like balls to the walls athlete. And then the 6-year-old, he's like the little baby, does everything so cute, and then until he draws all over your $1,000 speaker or something with the marker, that kind of stuff. So he's a little crazy man too.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
So how does a typical install go? So somebody will call you up and like, what is that process like?
Well, basically, people call and then I ignore their calls for about 2 days. And then finally, once I get them on the horn, no, I'm just kidding. Once, they call me and I normally get some images sent to me via text and just make sure I know what I'm getting into before I quote people. And there's a lot of people will just throw out random pricing, or there's like third-party companies that take, half the money. And so I really go one-on-one, and I'm just like, send me some pictures, make sure I know what you're doing. And I have like a set package. And once we kind of figure it all out, then I, get there and just, check out what's going on and make it work. The install is the easy part, really just getting the information and making sure I know what I'm getting into first is the hardest part, because at this point, doing a TV install or a home theater install, I've done them so long and so many that it's just a matter of the logistics and figuring out and make sure I don't have to go to Home Depot 6 times in the middle of a job. That's kind of the time killing things.
Right.
Like really, the hardest part when you're doing contracting is the expectations of customers and making sure you know what it is prior to getting there, because the only thing that can ruin it is really just if you're completely off base of what they want to do and you have no, you're just not on the same page, then it can be just a nightmare. But
what is the hardest thing? Like, what's the thing?
That's what I was going to ask you.
Oh man, I don't.
What's the hardest thing? Like,
what's the biggest pain in the ass to install?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you the biggest thing that's the most frustrating thing is when you are going to someone's house and you're going to put a TV up and they don't tell you that they have a full 5.1 setup that they want you to install as well.
Wow.
And you're like showing up and you're like, okay, it's like 3:00 in the afternoon. I have just enough time to like put this TV up, run power, and get out of here. And they're like, yeah, but I just bought this new Bose system. Can you wire it through my whole house? And I'm just like, oh man, really?
Now, do you charge it? Do you tell them up front, hey, look, I can, but it'll be extra, or do you just?
Oh yeah, it's everywhere on my website that speakers are extra, because they'll take 3 times as much as it'll take to install the TV. So yeah.
Just trying to see if like you're the nice guy or if you're the business guy.
Oh no, I'm the business guy, and now that I've been able to like kind of pick the jobs that I want to do and things like that, I'm also like let's test the waters on the high end of the cost spectrum too here. See what I can, you got to spend your time wisely, You guys know that.
Yeah.
Well, the reality is the
in-wall
more you
speakers?
get paid, the more time you can spend with your family, because you don't have to do as many jobs. You can either get out there and just kill it and just install 10 TVs in a day, if that's even possible, or you can install or you can install a couple of just really nice clients and go back home to your family. So
yeah.
Do you install a lot of in-wall speakers too?
Yeah. I in-wall, Inceiling, it just depends. I mean, you asked what are the worst jobs. I can tell you a couple of the worst jobs are when you're trying to install a TV and home theater speakers with a fireplace against an external wall. And so you're trying to like run the left channel across the whole fireplace onto the other side because there's no attic, there's no room above you.
Right.
Yeah. So first floor fireplace against an external wall, nightmare, like terrible.
Sure.
And sometimes people want to like even run the wire around the fireplace with floor standing speakers. So it's like, well, what do you think that I'm going to be able to do with this wire that's, this giant speaker wire? Like
you're gonna hide it behind the bricks, dude. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is when you're trying to put in-ceiling speakers in, to your point, and they blow in that 2 feet of insulation in the ceiling or in the attic, so you're up there like swimming in insulation, or you cut the hole from underneath and it just pours out like it's snowing. Oh, it's terrible. It just keeps going, and you just get covered in crap, and so you have to make
it snows down rat poop.
Yeah, it's just gross. Yeah, you're lucky if it's just a nice clean insulation. You're lucky. The worst is when it's like dust and dirt and probably asbestos and all that crap.
Oh no.
Well, that's the good thing about COVID. It's taught me to wear a mask, and I'm okay with it now. So when I go in houses, I'm like, dude, I'll wear a mask. I'm gonna wear a mask anyway. So now my lungs are thanking me.
Now it's even double to do. My wife is high risk, and back in the beginning, we were getting gloves. I was getting these black gloves from eBay, and disposable, just to go into Vons with the mask on. And I know, after all the shit that comes up on these gloves, I'm like, dude, I'm never going in Vons without gloves again. Like, there's just so much nonsense, especially with like the chicken and meat. All of a sudden, there's like chicken blood on my gloves. I was just like, ew, that would have been on my hand. Like, yuck. So
chicken blood.
Chicken blood.
I like these
How do we get into chicken blood?
I don't know, dude.
Chana.
I was just rolling.
Quickly. We got there very quickly, too.
Yes.
What do you see over there that you like, Brandon? I know you're looking at some comments.
Regular guy audio. The biggest fail is lack of patience. Is that from the customer? When customers are watching you, that can be frustrating. Certain customers will want to stand right over your shoulder, and they'll just be like, "What's that?" Like, what they want you to explain. Like, it's your job to explain what's going on every step of the way to people, and it's like, I got.
You know what you do though. You just hand them the camera. And be like, if you want to, why don't we film
I will
this? We'll
just hold this right here.
The camera.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Someone told me this joke, and I use it all the time. I was like, I'll be like, it's $100 an hour, but if you want to help, it's $200 an hour. That's what and that'll be kind of like your passive aggressive way to tell the guy to go sit down, Right. So the wife will laugh, and the guy kind of like sits and kind of kicks rocks as he walks away.
Looks like Tristan was that guy. I stopped hiring installers because of my OCD. Drove them crazy, and I was never happy.
Yeah, I hear that, Tristan. I think you'd like me, because even though my videos, I haven't done like my perfect work, because you're always short on time and you're trying to do things. But I'm always like I always make sure I have like things the way I would want them in my house. So yeah, you can always be a little bit more OCD, but I always try to do it my own way, or try to do it the way people want.
Here's a question from Juan. What has been the most bizarre and strange TV install you've been asked to do?
Oh man, how about installing like 15 TVs from the ceiling in a dentistry shop so people can watch them from above?
Yeah.
While they're like this?
Yeah.
And there's a TV up there?
We had to hang them from the false, and we hung them from the false ceiling. So they're like on those like thin false things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We had to back them with plywood. We had to put plywood above the false ceiling so that they wouldn't, because if you just
fall down right on the guy.
I mean, you can actually hang a speaker from that. Like, you can cut out a hole and just hang your speaker, and it'll catch. And it'll hold. It's fine. It's not going to be dangerous. But when you put in something heavier than this, like you put in a ceiling projector or something for like office, we'll throw some plywood in there and lock it in. But yeah, the TVs like that is tough. Another really tough one is hanging TVs with false ceilings that will display in front of a window is really hard, because you have to like do your work where you want the TV at the perfect height where it's like sitting in front of that window,
right? And
it's got to display out. So you got to like go up, and you got to find a ceiling mount, which like Monoprice is like the only company that's ever gotten good ceiling mounts that I've used. But then you got to like make it work with the false work and hang it up above that. So it's really complicated. It takes like 6 hours to do one of those. So it's nuts. There's all kinds of I mean, I haven't done a lot of like, dropping them down from the bedrooms, like they hang above you until you want to watch them. I don't, I just tell people that find somebody else to do that kind of
that's
crap.
not you. And you got to figure out what your niche is and kind of what your strengths are, and and once you get good at that, like you said, you can just go in, knock it out, get out, make your money, and move on.
You were right about the time versus energy. Like if you can find 2 good solid jobs in a day, it's like your morning fireplace install with the sound bar, and then you go to your afternoon one, and a couple, like 2 TVs, or you can, if you can pair up a couple nice jobs, that's all you need to do there.
Well, what's funny is like I make the joke that I don't get out of bed for anything under $1,800 for weddings, right? And like I quoted this lady, $2,200 for the full day. That's music in 3 locations, so that's 3 music setups and stuff like that. And she's like, "Oh, well, I found somebody that quoted me $1,200." I was like, "You did? Cool, do it. Go."
Yeah, I'm going back to bed.
I am not even touching that. Go for it. Knock yourself out.
The best part about that is it's helping you not do the job, and you're also finding out that that's the person that'd be a pain in the butt because they want it cheap, so like it's a double win for you when you can just let people self-destruct,
or there's something totally extra, like you said, you go in and all of a sudden you have to like set up their speakers or some shit. Like I've gone in, they're like, "We'd like to sing a song instead of," I'm like, "Okay." And she's like, "There's going to be 4 of us." So I'm like, "Well, good thing I have 4 wireless microphones just in the back there." Like, okay. And for me, it's like,
sing something, Chana.
Yeah, well, fuck that. Like, what? So I don't know, man. It's clients are crazy. They want a little bit more all the time. They're just trying to get like some more value. So I don't know. It's tough.
So have you ever had somebody ask you to mount in-ceiling speakers for their like front speakers, LCR?
Yeah.
And do you do that?
I mean, I do whatever they want me to do, but
I would tell them, man, that's garbage.
Yeah.
I'd have to tell them, man. I'm like, no way.
You have to. I mean, at the very least, you got to get the ones that are angled. Like it's just. Yeah. No, I hear you on that. It's that's a really hard thing to do. This is hard when you go to somebody's house that has crap to install. What do you do?
Yeah.
I mean, like this family got like, a Pioneer receiver is like $300 or something. I don't know what it was, but they got these like $100 Yamaha like 8-inch speakers in ceiling, and I put 5 of them in, and I'm like, and they had sub, and I'm like, they're like, "It's not as good as I thought it would be," and I'm like, "Yeah, because you bought it all for like $600, like
exactly."
I mean, the install cost.
Do they blame you for it? Did they blame you for it sounding bad too?
They look at me. They look at me like, "What are you going to do to fix it?" And I'm like,
"Oh,
wow, that's bad."
That's kind of funny.
I just try to set the expectations because I actually used to do in-home services when I had an IT business. Go to people's homes, go to people's businesses, stuff like that. You have to set the expectations. You tell them, "Hey, look, I don't think these speakers are the best, so just know if it doesn't sound great."
Right.
My recommendation is you get better speakers, right?
So
but
Tristan
it's on you.
Tristan has a buddy that calls his worst 10 customers every year at Christmas. He thanks them for their business and kindly tells them that he's no longer servicing their area. So way you do it right there, folks.
I like his other question. What was his other question? He had another one. Just a second.
Tristan's a joker, so
custom mount.
Not today.
Do you ever make custom mounts? Yeah. I actually used to import mounts from China. That's how I know Monoprice. Monoprice. I've known them since they've been selling out of their garage, since they were selling out of their apartment back in like 2000, whatever. And I got to a point where I was buying hundreds and hundreds of mounts from them, and I decided to start buying them overseas. Mm-hmm. And at one point I tried to talk to the owner of Monoprice, and we were like, "How are we going to do this?" And I'm like, "Well, how about you get the mounts and you put my logo on them?" And we got into this argument about like how to do that. Because I'm like, I'm buying kind
of co-brand it
like thousands of mounts from you, So I'm like, well, if you don't want to put my logo on them, why don't I just buy them directly? And I said that not thinking like, that was going to go down as the way it did. And he actually blacklisted me from a lot of Chinese exporters. Like they said, the people that I was going to buy them said, "I'm sorry, we can't do business with you." They threatened to pull all their business from us if we work with you. Like, the guy was no joke, man. His name is Sean.
Business right there.
Yeah, he's crazy. I don't think runs the day to day any longer. But
you got to hit up Hobie, man. See if Hobie can help you out, man.
I actually bought. I mean, I used to import 2,000 at a time in a container.
Wow,
that's a lot.
They were pretty expensive mounts though, and the problem is that they couldn't sell them at the same kind of, like, they were not the budget ones you can find on Amazon, you know. So,
but isn't the oh no, that was a Sonos one or Sanus, right? The Sanus mount you were talking about in your
oh yeah, I like the Sanus actually. Yeah, so Sanus is a funny company. That company, they're pretty ruthless with they got some good IP lawyers. So because they have the self-leveling feature, you know, like that they created the patent for the self-leveling feature. So you can't put on so we had on our website that our mounts self-level. And by putting that, we got a cease and desist letter from them because they threw a patent at us. So we had to take that off our website. But yeah, so they have some good mounts though. They
I mean, the one that quality. You were recommending was like $80 or something like that.
So there's one at Costco that's on sale sometimes for that much. There's a couple of them. Yeah, if you go to Costco, all three of the Sanus mounts work great for TVs. Now, you know, you still can get ones on Amazon for a little less, but
well, see, my dumb ass would be like, oh well, maybe I should look at a $200 mount, see if I can get anything better. But watching your video, you're like, yeah, this thing's on sale for $80. You should get this. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's a good one. That's a good one. Normally it's like $139, but it's solid. It can hold like an 85-inch TV, and it's just very fluid the way it goes in and out. It's just like, I feel good with an OLED on that because, you know, when you're moving that around, you don't want to have to really give it and then slam it into the wall or something, you know. So
yeah,
the kids still aren't very comfortable moving the TV around. Well,
you know, have you ever seen? Because you were talking about mounting something over the fireplace. Have you ever seen that Mantle Mount?
Oh yeah, I've done a bunch of those.
Yeah, like that thing looked cool.
I have an Instagram on my picture from Instagram. I have some a picture of the series of. I did a whole job where I renovated his it's just a little build, but I did a little build up of an old school where you put the TV in, you know, it's like a cubby hole, and I made that a compartment where he could put his cable box and stuff, and I flattened it out and put a Mantle Mount and a 65-inch OLED over it, and it was a pretty sweet little setup.
If you guys don't know what the Mantle Mount is, it's like you mount it and you can just pull it down with one hand, so you don't get that back of the neck crick up thingamajig.
Yeah.
They also I saw at Cedia they had a motorized one too. You hit a button and fucking does it for you if you're that lazy, if you want more convenience.
The only problem is that the Mantle Mount, when it's up, it sticks 9 inches off the wall, so it's got this big arm, and it just kind of leans forward, and then when it comes down, it can turn left and right. So when it's up, it goes up, but it still has the TV kind of still tilts forward a little bit. So yeah, it's funny.
It says be about to get daily HiFi on multiple blacklists.
For crushing the different companies.
That's right, dude.
It's all good.
Getting cease and desist letters and.
It's all good.
Joe Hader met his match with B the installer. There you go. We're both here. We're both here in SoCal. That's how we do it.
That's right.
So Joe has an alter ego called Hater J.
I saw the picture, and that Christmas picture was legit. You know?
So he'll have a regular speaker review, and it's just him, and then he's got his sunglasses on. He's like, man, he said about those Vanitudes that you bought. He's like, man, you got to do all these finger gymnastics to change the thing. It was pretty funny.
That is hard. Yeah.
You know, sometimes I don't want to say too much bad stuff, but you have to, right? So I'm like, let me just say it how I'd really tell a friend, right?
I'm getting crushed on this. I have a review up. It's called. You don't even want to look at the comments. It's the LG C10, which people unanimously is one of the best TVs out there. There's no question about it. But when I moved, I had to put it facing a window. So then, obviously I was upset that when in the daytime you got light behind you, which is not the TV's fault, but the TV doesn't get that bright. So it's it is a problem of OLEDs that they are not as bright as QLED TVs. That's just one of the downsides. And then I hate the LG remote. I always get the little pointer on the screen, and it's we drop the remote down the side of the couch, and then it's the little pointers on the TV, and we're all trying to, and it's going
Where is
off.
it at?
Oh my God! Or you just put your foot on your like table and it like shakes, and all of a sudden you got that big pointer up there for like the next 10 seconds. So I made a diss video like you're talking about with Joe, and man, people just are trashing it. They are so mad, and of course YouTube just blows it up. Then
it loves it.
Every single person that dislikes that video writes me a point-by-point like it's a full essay of why I'm an idiot.
I believe it.
No joke.
I believe
That's
it.
Funny.
Even to the point where they like demean their wives on this. It's like ridiculous. People that hate me and love that TV will talk like they are like, you whine more than my wife, and my wife would never. They're like, oh
my God.
I would never let my wife and kids touch my TV. Why would you ever let them touch your TV?
Someone called my wife the C word just because I said that she wakes up sometimes to the fans on the Xbox, and I was just like I'm playing, it's like 3 a.m. She's like, what is that noise? Is the dishwasher on? I'm like, oh no, that's the Xbox. And so like I said that in a video, and someone literally like called her God. I was just like, wow, that's pretty harsh, bro. Like what's going on?
Try not to take the comments literally, but
of course. Well,
there's a lot of haters out there.
Oh yeah.
In 2017, when Samsung first like rolled out their QLEDs, and they were charging like $6,000 for an edge lit LED TV, I was like, do not buy this. And it's this. The thumbnail was this picture of a Samsung TV and warning in like red and white, and that video ranked for a Samsung QLED #1 for like 9 months. I got called every name in the book. Every racial slur, epithet, everything. Like it was funny, and then it got to the. I did. I was such an ass.
You're bad.
I deserve the LG one too. The LG one is, I have to admit, I'm getting heat for it because I did make. The things aren't that big, but the whole point is, if you make a video like that, well, yours was more like legit, don't buy it, but mine was more like, if you can get over this, then it's a good TV for you. And I said at the end of the video, I love the TV, but people don't watch the end of the video. You know how that goes. They don't hear that part.
Yeah. No, totally.
It's funny. They just scrub through real quick and watch the parts they want to watch.
You got it. Here's a question here. So what's your favorite HDMI cable? Over 30 feet.
I think I said that to China, whichever one's the cheapest.
There you go.
Yeah.
I honestly,
that works.
I've never been a huge, like, you got to have a branded cable. A lot of people, even speaker wire. I know you guys probably know a lot more about that than I do, but it's a signal, especially HDMI. It's a digital signal. If it's a certain, if it has a bandwidth and it can do the quality to the correct, specs, then it is what it is, man. It's not gonna.
It either works or it doesn't, right?
On or off, baby.
The one that works is the one I like, especially when you're installing a long one in over like a whole office, and then it doesn't work at the end, and you got to snake a new one through with the whole.
Oh my goodness! Dude, you know what was so messed up? I had somebody like, Chris, thank you for the super chat. His question is any motorized tilt mounts you know of. We'll get to that in just a second. So, I needed to wire up this room and my kids' room with Ethernet, and I didn't want to do it. So I hired some electrician guy to do it, and he installs it. And I'm like, or in the middle of the install, I'm like, oh shit, I never tested these to see if they fucking worked. I'm like, God, I hope they work. Otherwise I just wasted all this money and all his time. But anyway.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough to remember to test everything, every job all the time. And plus, you don't want to take out a 50-foot HDMI cord until you're ready to use it, because then it's just stuff piles up everywhere in the room. So I always forget to. Sometimes I don't even take a TV out of the box until I'm ready to install it. And, like at the end, and then like one of 2,000, it's cracked in the front. Now I got to go get a new TV.
Crap. No.
That happened on Target. It happened with the TV for a lady with 2 children. One of them was autistic, on the eve of Thanksgiving at like 7:00 at night. And because of the circumstance and where I was up in Orange County and I didn't go that far, I threw it in my truck and I went with the family, got them a new TV, and came back and installed it for them. Because I was, nice. You got to do it, man. If the people are cool and, chill, I'll do that for people, just because I don't want to drive up there again. Come on, man.
Yeah.
At Orange County. Yeah. Pretty far from where you're at. So yeah, any motorized tilt mounts you know of?
So tilt, people typically write tilt and they mean like articulating mount, because when I think of tilt, I think of just tilting it down.
Right, leaning
so that's
forward.
typically, right. But I don't really like any motorized in either, to be honest. I don't recommend them just because of the cost versus like what they actually do for you. And so I unfortunately, Chris, I don't have a good motorized mount. I just, I like to have mounts that are easy. The Mantle Mount is a great mount if you need it to come down. Left and right, I just try to find a nice fluid mount. So like I said, the Sanus mounts are pretty good. And they have one at Costco that I really like. That's a flat one that gets really flush to the wall and still can come out and turn a little. And it's called the Sanus Tilt and Extend mount. And that one's like $85. It sometimes is lower. But that is my favorite tilt mount because it's as flat as most other tilt mounts, but it can still turn like 30 degrees both ways. So, and it can hold like an 80-inch TV. So I recommend that too, both of those.
And that was at the $139 on sale for $80 something?
No, it's actually that $139 on sale for $89 one is the full motion one that's really fluid. And then this one I'm speaking of is the tilt and extend, which is just a flat and tilt one, and that is that's $85, and sometimes it's down to like $79. They don't really put that on that big of a discount, but it's a really good mount for that price. So I would still recommend it.
All right, Brandon. Cool. Well, here you go. So Kanto says they've got some mounts for you, man.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see if you want to try some.
Kanto mounts.
Kanto solid too. I know that they have some. I think they have some. I hope I don't put my foot in my mouth, but I believe they have some at Costco too. I don't see them in stores as much as I see them online at Costco.com. But I have installed them. Kanto's good. Kanto's a good mount. Yeah, it is. I just I don't have as much experience, but I'm gonna be doing some more installs. So if you want to send me something, send me some mounts.
Hook it up, good. Man. Make some videos on it.
Yeah. No, but I'm gonna try to pair. If you look up Kanto like speaker stands and Kanto, like they're everywhere. If you just do a search on Google for them, they're in like all these stores. I'm like, man, somebody's doing a good job over there.
Tristan.
I installed or I sold a TV mount to one of those big like a CEO of one of those big like companies, Spigen or something. I can't remember.
Oh, right, the cell phone case company.
Yeah, like the cell phone. I love those. I love it's Spigen. That's right. I pronounced it wrong. Spigen, I think, right? Yeah, they're legit.
I don't know, man. I have one.
Here, look, same thing, dude. These cases are legit.
I use them every time I get a new phone.
This thing, I've dropped this. Yeah. Now, be careful, Michael. The only problem is right by the volume button is the weak spot.
Oh, I got you.
I've dropped mine on a curb just like that, and I broke it. It broke the camera. But these things, I've dropped them on the corners many times, and it's bulletproof. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
except for
it's
Achilles heel.
Tristan says, Michael, Joe, and Chana kill the haters with kindness. Spare Change takes a different approach. I don't know about all that. I know Michael's pretty nice.
I'm nice. I try to be nice.
I'm not so nice.
I'll actually talk to my haters. That's what's funny, man.
I see this one here. Have you guys seen this one? I don't know if you guys can see this.
What is this? This on...
Where'd it go? Zoom in.
If I had to guess, I'd say Michael would be the nicest, Chana would be in the middle, and Joe would be the hardest with people. That's my guess. Just because
it's pretty fair assumption. Yeah. I think you're spot on that.
It's about right.
But you all are really nice guys. I like it.
Hold on, he says here.
There it is.
Commander Russell, you see this guy? I would consider joining one of these Discords, but I don't think Youthman Joe or Techno Dad are really that knowledgeable.
Oh, that's not cool.
Yeah, he was like blasting me on this last one of my previous videos. He's like a joke, dude.
I told him, try me, smart guy. Go ahead and ask me a technical question. Only dumb people try to sound smart.
Dang.
So yeah, I'm not really that nice. I'm not killing that guy with kindness.
No.
I deleted a whole string of comments off of my LG video because it just got worse and worse. And finally, I just deleted the whole string. I'm like, okay, this is not showing me in a good light. Let's just get rid of these.
I remember I had to, from that Samsung TV video, I had to turn off all my alerts and my emails.
Yeah.
Because it was just it was just coming in. And then at first I'm like reading some of the emails, when it comes in, it's just like, whoa, what are they talking about? And I go to reply, and they're arguing with each other.
Oh, yeah. No.
They're not even talking about me. I'm like, I'm not even part of the equation. Hilarious. hilarious.
And you wake up to it, right? The first thing you wake up,
exactly.
Look at your phone.
That's
what's
the
thing?
Like 75.
You should not do any more videos.
Yeah.
Okay. Got
it.
Oh
man.
I get hit with both sides of it. I get hit with you're just an installer and I'm an engineer, so you don't know anything.
Right. Sure.
And then I get hit with the other side where it's like a contractor trying to tell me that I didn't do that to code, and I'm like, oh my god, like seriously, dude, make your own YouTube channel, call it I'm the code guy, and like show everybody the exact code, because the NEC code is like the longest book in the world anyways, and there's still like all these things that are like the Samsung frame wire, can you put that in a wall or not? Like that, still things just it's always evolving. It's like just difficult to know everything.
So okay,
definitely.
So do in-wall speakers suck? That's a question for you. Have you found any that you think are like pretty good, or do you prefer if somebody were to say like I can do in-walls, or I'm down to do just like some floor standing speakers?
Well, there's just no question that the floor standing speakers are better. I mean, like it's even like for example, we did this one recently where I was like, I did the KEF speakers, and they were the thin ones that sit outside the wall, and they just sound so much better outside the wall.
Really?
I think you lose some quality because it's like going in the wall, and you're losing. So if you can find the speakers that have the mounts that go inside first, and try to like prevent some of the lost sound. But I mean, when I'm listening to like in-wall speakers, and then the same priced floor standing speakers are just a lot more powerful. They just sound a lot better.
Like what's something that you've noticed is like a common thing with in-wall speakers? Like what's something that you hear that they all kind of have no matter what the price range is?
The in-wall, what's the downside speakers to them?
Well, kind of like what do they have in common? Like what is the thing that they don't do well?
Well, I don't know. I think that you can get some good separation if you have good speakers. I mean, like when you put in good in-ceiling speakers, like I like that you can really stretch out the room, as opposed to like when you're trying to do, like if you're trying to mount speakers, it's hard to get speaker wires around the corner and down the wall for like if you're putting a attached speaker. So if you can get it spread out, it helps in that manner. I don't know. I think just in general, sometimes it just sounds muddy, or it just, they just don't sound clean. Sometimes, a lot of times people just buy crappy speakers too. So difficult. It's hard to get good speakers and then like get to listen to them when they're done and be like, okay, that's a good system. Like, a lot of people just don't spend the money of that. You'd think they would on quality products.
Because they make some pretty expensive in-wall speakers too, right?
Yeah, you guys like Dyne Audio? The Dyne Audio?
Yeah.
I haven't heard any of them. Yeah.
So I did what did I do? Let's think. I think I did 7 in-ceiling Dyne Audio rounds, like 8-inch speakers. They were like $900 each or something like that. And I hooked it up to like an 11-channel Marantz, AVR, and man, that sounded really good. I mean, you could hear when they did the little Dolby Atmos or Dolby Digital. Well, I don't think at that point it was just not Atmos, but man, you could really hear it was like pinging all around the room, and it sounded quite good. And they had good bass, and they had a couple subs and stuff.
Because we saw those Sonos Arc ones, right? Chana and Michael, they were showing us their in-wall stuff. I'm like, oh well, I'm pretty sure
it doesn't sound
that bad.
Yeah, they look nice.
Yeah, no, those ones look nice. But
Randall says the KEF reference sound good.
In-walls are pretty amazing. Aren't those like 10 grand?
I'd hope they would be then.
I know the KEF reference are 10 grand, I think a pair. But what do you? I had a question for you. Oh, how did that Sonos Arc install with like the 3 subs, and what was that all about?
Oh yeah, so I just did the video with where a lot of people ask me like, if you have the Sonos Arc, what to do next, and then I'm like, okay. So I just did a video where I just take it to the max, and I end up putting, Sonos Arc, 2 subs, and then use the 2 5s for rears. So, you got like still a 5, now it's a 522, but I mean, putting those 5s, it's dramatically louder than having the 1s as the rears. And my room is not big enough for it. It's just not big enough, but the 2 subs is pretty nice, like rattling the floor. It's like shaking everything. I mean, they're decent
Sonos subs, right? Did you have to use those Sonos subs?
Yeah, you got to use their subs. They're decent. They're decent.
Proprietary.
Yeah, you can't. You got to use them. You know, you can if you. So I just found out this. If you actually, if you connect the amp to your surround sound speakers, which you can do, and I'm sure you put a nice bookshelf speakers back there, it'll sound quite nice. But you can't use the sub out on the amp if you're using them as surround speakers. So that kind of sucks because it has an output. You know, if you use them just as stereo speakers, you can use a sub with them. And that's what I did in one of the. I have some footage on that video of this big house I was in where I put 24 B&W like 8-inch speakers in the ceiling. I took all of his old crappy Bose speakers out and bought these, like they were decent, like B&W 6 something. Don't remember it, or I don't know what speakers they were, but they're like, you know, $500 each speakers. This guy wanted to get some nice stuff going on. So
you got 24 of them?
Yeah, he got 24 speakers. They were already in the ceiling, so I just spent like a month doing work at his house, and there was all kinds of stuff. But we put amps and connects, and they were all in different areas, so it was kind of the only choice was to use Sonos, just because everything was in a ramp. He had 2 amps were outside, and so we just put a bunch of got a bunch of Bose outdoor speakers by the pool. It was just this massive bachelor pad. So, but I don't even know what the question was anymore.
It started off with the Sonos stuff.
Yeah.
You see, Tristan Jones going to be the health code guy. New channel
code guy
coming up.
Yeah.
That's funny. Man. Now, regarding the in-wall speakers, like there's definitely good in-wall speakers, but I was just saying, like if you take someone's top in-wall speakers and you play them right next to their top, speakers. Yeah. There's just no comparison. Yeah. It's just not a comparison. It's not even close. There's just much more power.
Typically, there's a pretty good compromise there. Yeah. Do you want aesthetics or do you want performance?
Yeah, you can add a sub and get the sound you want, but it's just.
Sonance. Have you installed those? I think that's pretty popular around here. Over here in Southern California, from my understanding, a lot of people like the look of not having speakers. Yeah. It's kind of like a thing over here. I don't know about other states, but for sure over here I've heard from other installers that people don't want to see speakers.
That definitely. Yeah, a lot of people are trying to minimize. I do a lot of minimizing where I take out a lot of technology and I have to convert to newer technology, and so that is true. The Sonance works with Sonos, so it's kind of confusing. They should just throw Sanus in there too. They can all work together and make us all confused.
The 3S.
Nice.
Yeah, it's terrible. But they do work, and they have like the Sonance 4.1 where they run them in series, and you have four like little speakers you can just slam into your dirt outside, and they have the little nice the speaker, and then they have like a mushroom sub. It's like this big old mushroom looking sub, and so you can put the sub anywhere along the series, and it's actually a pretty cool system. But I think you pay like $1,500, so you take the amp out of it. It's like $700, so you're paying like $700 or $800 for the rest of the speakers. They're pretty good. They're a little bit pitchy. You can't really mess with the sound on them too much. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. But we had them elevated in a couple instances. They were kind of around elevated up a little bit. Probably better when they're along the ground.
I heard this interesting thing from actually somebody who runs one of the more prominent speaker companies, and he told me that who do you think sells the most high-end stuff, right? If you think of like who sells the most high-end gear, is it Best Buy? Is it like these small shops? And it's actually, he said it's the installers. Installers sell the most, because you're in the house already, right?
Yeah.
Once you're in the house, you could be like, hey, you know what would be tight over here? Some Bowers and Wilkins 802Ds. You know what I mean? You're in the house, you know what they can spend, and so if you can build a relationship, it's just interesting that it's the installers that actually sell the most high-end gear, according to
there are some companies that really kill it on the products. I mean, there's a competitor of mine that goes around to like the large houses and drops off like this full, it's all like, it's not like specific to them, it's just, what do you call it? Like,
package number one.
Well, it's just like a stock footage. Sorry. It's like stock footage of like homes and stuff. and then they have their products and their names at the end. And I mean, they this pamphlet has to be like a $10 pamphlet they send to these people's houses inside a manila envelope, and they give it to new homeowners. They drop it off at your door. And I mean, you know, there's definitely money to be made in AV. So you're right about that. But I went to a house, and when I was working a job, I think the Best Buy Magnolia Room quoted them like $130,000 for their setup. And I went in there without knowing what I was getting into. I just said my quote was about 20 grand. So it's like, I mean, there's a big variation of what people, you know, they just shoot for the moon, you know. Yeah. But I like going into the Magnolia Rooms. There's a specific one in San Diego I go into just to check out the new stuff, because, you know, I use it for what it's worth, figuring out what stuff sounds good. They got some rooms set up, so I go in there and listen to it and create relationships, and that way I know, and then I just go, you know, buy the stuff myself direct, but still.
So you're the guy we were talking about, like, that comes in Circuit City, and you just kind of, you're checking it out, and then you dip out.
He's the be-back.
No,
that's right.
Let's hear this.
I spend plenty of money at the Best Buy. They know me well there, but I get pretty good discounts. And that whole $1,800 system at that Sonos one I got for like under $1,500. So that's pretty good deal.
Yeah. So question on like your YouTube channel. So now you're going into homes, you're installing, and then you've got this YouTube channel, and of course that's fresh content there. Do you ever run into issues? Not issues, but customers that don't want you filming in their house, or do you ask permission, or what is that workflow? You know, how do you manage that?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's really hard to film in people's houses. You know, they make it seem like they're totally cool with it at first if you ask,
right? And
then you get there, and then, you know, it's going a little slower, and then kids are coming home from school, or now that, you know, it can be complicated. So I really don't film in people's houses unless I know it's going to be like completely quiet, or now I'm more comfortable if it's like I've done all the frame videos I've done in the same person's house, because she has like 4 frame TVs. So, and then she's so nice and lets me, you know, she's like, I actually went back on I think it was like a Friday night at like 5 o'clock to go get some footage, because I forgot to get the sensor of the TV, and I run in there and do a little B-roll and I run out. But they're chill, and it was pretty close. But yeah, most of the stuff I've been doing, I changed to doing like, you know, sit down interviews and then just roll B-roll over a lot of the reviews, because I was trying to do like kind of like a hybrid where I would install a TV and then I would then talk about it at the end.
Review or whatever, yeah.
And I did that for like a pretty like low-end Samsung TV, and it's actually pretty popular right now. The video is, and I never thought that video would be popular, but it's getting like thousands of views a day for like this crappy TV. And then me just being like, this was early on too, and I'm like, yeah, this is a pretty good TV. There's some better ones, some worse ones, and that's it. And it was like, all right.
That's funny.
You know, like you never know what's gonna hit.
You don't.
Kind of crazy.
You definitely don't.
With the you know, with COVID and stuff like that, has there been a huge rise in people asking or wanting you to install new TVs and stuff like that? Are people spending more money on that kind of stuff right now, or this last year?
Yeah. People are definitely they're trying to figure out what to do at home, man. The people are bored. People are just bored at home, man, doing all kinds of renovations. Some people don't even like pretend like nothing's going on. I mean, like, got 14 different crews in their house working with no masks on and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not coming that day, dude. I'll come a different day. But it's people are buying things. I notice on my comments and stuff, people are using their COVID checks to buy like new TVs and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, you know, what are you going to
do? You're like, give me a call.
Yeah. Let me know, man.
If you need something to spend it on,
but I've been really picking and choosing what I can do, because I just hard to get to everyone's house. Is trying to work out there in the field a few days a week, but definitely difficult with the COVID and all that stuff to get all the jobs. A lot of people call them though. You're right.
So what? My follow-up question to that is, what is the most popular TV?
Well, I'd say like the most volume is probably like your Samsung Q80T, just because of the price point. And the version of it, the Q8DT, you know, like the Costco version of it. It's the same TV, but they just
different model number.
Yeah, they just call it something different because they want to sell it at Costco without having to compete on price with like Best Buy, you know. So they have like it literally is the same thing.
Just add the D in there.
Yeah. I mean, even the LG is a little different. They have like a nice.
Sorry, it was supposed to be that one. I'm like, there's the 2 blue buttons on here.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think Best Buy also does like different model numbers as well on certain TVs just to differentiate. It's a Best Buy exclusive, but it's still the same TCL you can get off of Amazon. Which was like a 5 instead of a 7 or something like that.
They all want to say they price match, but they all don't want to price match. You know?
I love it, man. This is awesome. So, Samsung Q80T. Did you? I don't know if you noticed or knew about their last year's TVs, and they actually downgraded everything.
Yeah.
So Joe and I went to CES last year, and we were in the Samsung area, and I wanted to check out their 4K TVs. There was none. They were just showing their 8K TVs. None of the 4K TVs were there, and then I find out later that they downgraded them. So the Q90R was higher than the Q90T, and the Q80R was more like the Q90T. So it's just like they stepped down on everything, and it's kind of Sorry, I saw this comment.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, I thought that was kind of annoying and surprising that everybody's like, oh yeah, I got the Q80T, because even when I got the Q90T into review, I was just like, man, $1,500. This is an awesome price compared to last year. And then I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. You know?
It does have. I mean, it just still has the HDMI 2.1, which is good. So there was some. They're still fine. I mean, like, it's a step down. But
did you hear the news today? It was an article. All Samsung TVs do not work with PlayStation 5.
Yeah, they're having all kinds of problems with this
HDMI 2.1. You can't get 4K 120 HDR on a Samsung TV with the PS5. It's one of those things, and that just popped up today and on my feed, like sometime in like 8 a.m. or something like that. Kind of lame.
Yeah, there's all kinds of connectivity problems. A lot of people are having problems with the eARC too. You know, being so new and having that connectivity issues with that, and like the Sonos. I keep telling people, like, if you have specifically Sonos, because they have like a lot of software updates and stuff, just to hold tight. It sucks that things aren't working perfectly now, but I think they play, you know, it's not the highest fidelity company in the world, in my my opinion, but they do play the long game, you know, and their products last forever. So I'm sure that they made the one HDMI inputted ARC for a reason, with, you know, without the inputs on it and stuff, just to kind of prepare for the future.
Surprisingly, I measured the Sonos beam, and I thought the frequency response is going to be ridiculous on it, and it was actually pretty flat. So the way they tune them was surprisingly flat, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you kind of have
their sub. I tried their sub, and it went down to 20, close to 20 hertz. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool for that little sub.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with both those points.
Yeah. So they're doing something right. It's not like they're not just doing the, I guess, Bose move.
Bose. I was about to say it.
It's not just that. Like, the stuff doesn't actually sound terrible.
Well,
which is surprising. I was expecting it to.
One thing, I wish the ARC was a little better on the highs. I wish it was a little better. When you're playing music, like, I put the 2 5s in, and I didn't realize how much more powerful they are for playing music than the ARC. It just doesn't push as much as I thought it would, you know. But it's still good. And if you put the surround speakers on full, so during music they'll play like equal to the ARC, it's it's solid, you know. But yeah, no, and the bass is definitely good, especially with the 2 subs, man. It is shaking our house right now. It's pretty funny. I don't know about you guys, but my wife won't let me play it past like half anyway. So
my gosh, you know, we were watching the coolest show. I'm gonna look for it. It's on Netflix.
That was a great show, Jonna.
It's like I can't remember the name right now. But
well, while you're looking at it, do you want me to tell you a story? Or you good?
Yeah, go for it.
I don't understand it. My family are the biggest whiners, man. Like when we go to a movie theater and it's like destroying your ears at the movie theater, like with the rocking chairs that shake and they got it's blasting you right in the ear. They don't complain at all. When we come home and I'm trying to play a movie, not even close to that loud, and they're all like, it's too loud. They're covering their ears.
That's funny.
Calling me deaf. It's like, dude, this is not. Like, what's the point of having all this fun stuff if you can't play it, you know?
True.
Yeah. So, like, my wife's always like that. Why does it have to be so loud? Why does it have to be so loud? And she wanted to watch this new show on Netflix called Bridgerton, right? And it's like a period piece, which, you know, we both love that kind of stuff, like 1813, England, you know, hoity-toity upper crust. And, like, it was, like, the 4K and HDR is awesome. It was shot, all these, like, castles and stuff. I think it was shot in Bath or something, or somewhere like that in Europe, and the music was so good. They took all these pop songs, and since they're like at these balls and stuff, it's all like, you know, quartets and stuff like that. So it's all these like new songs like Billie Eilish and like all this cool stuff, all done as like string quartets. I'm like, oh yeah, let's turn it up. And she's like, why? Please, let's not do that. I'm like, oh man, party poop.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Not fun.
I hate that stuff.
I do like that. Again, I don't want to keep dwelling on it, but the Sonos Arc does sound really good for like scores, like in when they're like you're listening to a movie. Yeah. It sounds great for like scores. Like, but
really, you think it's but it's not as great for music. Like,
it's it doesn't just. I just wish for. I mean, $800 is a fairly expensive like sound bar.
That's true.
It's in this weird space. It's got you know 11 speakers, 13 drivers. You think that it could, you know, just pound by itself, but not the bass necessarily, but just could, you know, keep going.
Juan says Hayden G got schooled by B today. He doesn't hold back. So how about this? What sound bar aside from Sonos doesn't suck?
Oh,
what would you say like this doesn't suck completely?
Well, it's funny that you said that. A lot of people, I've heard from a lot of customers that the Bose 700 is actually, it sounds better than the Sonos Arc when it comes to just the speaker versus the speaker. Less the Dolby Atmos, but I don't necessarily find that, but a lot of people, like I've had customers that have taken the Sonos Arc back for the Bose 700.
Oh.
So
you know what that means, right? People got to get that shit out of their ears.
Yeah. But the one that I really like, is it what is the Ambio? The Ambio, whatever that is.
Is that the Sennheiser?
Sennheiser? I think it's Sennheiser, right?
Yeah.
That thing is supposed to pound. There you go.
Yeah, $2,500. I mean,
exactly.
Shit, it better.
For me, $2,500 means the Sonos Arc, 2 of the Play 5s, and 1 or 2 of the subs. And I can put them anywhere in the room, and I don't have to have that gigantic block that's like this tall and like this wide sitting on my table, which I don't have a table anyway, so got to hang in the air somewhere. So yeah, that thing is massive. It's huge.
Here's another quick question for you: is, you know, if you recommend to somebody, hey, you know what, instead of doing in-wall, let's do some floor standing speakers. You know, try to get them a better sounding system. What is their objection? Usually the speakers, or what I've noticed is they seem to not like the AVR part. Like once you show them that they would need something like that, they're like, nah, I don't like that.
Too complicated.
Yeah, the technology is one thing, and then I get laughed at online for this, but I try to bring like a Harmony Elite remote in, which people are like, that makes it more complicated, you know? And it's like, well, nah, not really if you understand it. But the main complaint that I get is definitely floor standing speakers. People just like, you get the wives that just do not want to see floor standing speakers. So it's like, that's true. That is the hard part. You know, unless if you have a flat wall and you have a nice entertainment center, then you can put them on the sides. But
just recommend those Martin Logan Electrostats. Like when I was unboxing those, my wife was like, "What are those?" And I'm like, "They're speakers." She's like, "Really? Those look cool." You know, you can see through them. You know, they're not a big ass box. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just so many different. People have different, like the rooms are all in different shapes and everything, and it's really hard to deal with people that have fireplaces and the niches on each side and stuff where they're putting all their like gear and all the pictures of the kids. It's just, what are you going to do with that? I mean, that's why you got to put the Inceiling speakers in, or put some bookshelves, and I don't know, it's tough. Sound bars, people are buying sound bars like crazy, man.
Yeah.
just for the ease of it. We know they don't sound as good, but people are just buying sound bars to make the sound good enough and convenience. You know,
is there anything else that's not out there on the market right now that would kind of ease that can make that simpler, where you can get somebody a nice sounding system that's not a sound bar, not in wall, but not floor standing speakers or big AVR? Is there any product there that's kind of like that's not out yet that would make it easier for you?
I think if more companies got kind of on the same like wireless system where they could make solid speakers, but like, you could have pieces to the whole and you could put speakers without the wiring. The wiring is the hard part. I think that creates a lot of problems. So if you could get like some nice floor standing speakers with no wires and kind of push them out to the edges or something, or, a center channel that's powered that could just sit in the center and just plug in and then it works with the system, that would probably be a lot. It would be very helpful.
So basically, like, kind of
interesting,
making it less complicated.
Yeah, everybody is going less complicated. I go into houses that are massive with massive, like, and all they want to do is like get away from Control 4, or they want to get away from like they just want to they want to simplify the rooms and just be like, I want to just use a remote in my bedroom and not have to like connect to the entire system. And it's just like, so a lot of times I'm like just trying to figure out how to best like wean them off the technology so they can just use 2 of the rooms that were set up instead of like the entire house was set up for all this lighting and crap that they don't want anymore. When a lot of people move in and out of houses, it's just, people sometimes they take parts of it too, so they'll take the receiver and the amps and stuff, and then they got all these speakers sitting there with wires, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So that's why you throw a couple, Sonos amps in there or something, or, figure out what to do, put a sound bar instead of all the system.
Yeah.
What do we got there?
So this is what you were talking about. They had all kinds of stuff in odd locations, right? I mean, look at these focals. These are like, a couple $100,000, like 1,200 watt Macintoshes, and then the TV's off-centered over here on the fireplace. So it's like you just gotta do what you can, right? And one seat. Yeah, exactly. The lonely life of an audiophile.
Yeah, I was about to say that's really an audiophile there. I mean, video is not his
not
deal.
his jam, but the TV's there just for the
the life
of the kids,
the nightly news.
You need the drop down screen that just comes right over the top of all of it, except for the speakers, center channel.
Oh, yeah.
Hassan, you're awesome. He said, thank you for the super chat. Please use this money to buy a label maker for your sound effects. Here, I know which one this is. There. That's the most appropriate one there.
That's a good joke.
Optimus,
like
thank you.
Yes, thank you, Optimus, for the super chat. We appreciate it. Oh, man.
Nice. Yeah, you know what? I hate the fact that the Sonos has a night mode where you press the night mode and it kills all the fun. It's like, now I can just
Joe has a night mode set up, but I think it's a pretty cool night mode.
No,
it just needs to reduce the bass sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Optimus, real quick, he says audio resolutions for this year. I got some big stuff, so crazy stuff coming down the pipeline. So just wait, you'll see.
Here we got the sunset. Where is it? Sunset. Going.
Oh, there it is.
Now you can see my light in the reflection. That's not good.
No, that's fine. Just
all
good. We're good.
I get it.
What do you got? What are the plans for this year? Audio
plans,
any new things?
Yeah, all of us, I guess.
I am in the next, let's say, in the next year, maybe in the next 18 months, my plan is to get into a house and get a full home theater. Like, I'm going to do it right, the whole thing. And I'm going to record all of it, and it's going to be crazy.
What are you looking to put in it?
Oh, I don't know product specifically. We're staying in SoCal. We're not moving. We got family in Pittsburgh and Wisconsin, and there's no good place. Chicago's no good middle spot. I'm not going to Chicago, so forget it.
Yeah. It's like, I like that SoCal weather. Yeah, right.
My plan is to just make enough money that I can fly my parents out here.
There you go.
But no, I just, I want to get a nice screen projector, just do the whole thing. So I'm going to take my time. I'll probably be calling you guys and get the right ideas and figure it all out, right?
If you need an installer, I know a guy.
Yeah, it's good.
His name's Brandon.
We hear he's pretty good.
He doesn't know anything, man. I heard he's a hack.
Well, I know for sure, like, if you're looking for, like, 4K projector. You know, it's either JVC or Sony. And I know CES is next week, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot more stuff on the market. TV wise, oh man, TVs are going to suck, dude. There's 30 new technologies.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Coming out next week. And for those of you watching, we're going to have FOMO on to discuss all the new
That's
TV
the week
stuff.
after, right? Or that's Monday after CES?
No, it's next Monday. They're doing.
He's gonna come on the Monday after CES.
Is he?
I think that's what he was saying, wasn't he?
No,
because he was wanting to share kind of.
Okay,
I was thinking he was wanting to share
pretty sure
the latest,
the
greatest
11th.
from CES.
Yeah. I'll look into that. But yeah, there's some stuff's happening.
It says the 11th. It says
the 11th.
Here.
Yeah, it's next week.
That guy's got some inside knowledge, man. He's got he knows his stuff.
Yeah, no, he definitely does.
And then 18th, I didn't tell you guys, I didn't put it in the calendar yet, but Home Theater Hobbyist says he wants to do 18th.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah?
Cody.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'll put him on
nice.
there.
Let's get him on here.
Get him here.
He's got great videos.
Cody's a good dude.
You gonna shout out our Patreon or what?
Oh man, you can't
Mike,
ask me to do two different things.
Mike,
all right, here we go.
We've been messaging you for the last 40 minutes.
Messaging you.
Dude, I don't see the private messages. There's only 5 over here.
That's fine.
Michael, you want to do the shout out? All right.
I've been giving hints. I'm linking to it and the.
I know. There's all this going on. And Mike's just huh?
I'm just enjoying the show, man. I'm just hanging out with Brandon.
It's been a great show.
It's been fun.
You're a natural, bro.
Definitely been fun,
live
man.
streams all the time, man.
You guys make it easy, man.
Your channel's doing well, man. Seems like your business is booming.
And who doesn't want Rob Dyrdek to come and install TV?
Who is that other guy? Randy Orton? Who's that? Do you know Randy Orton?
Randy Orton? No. Let's Google.
Yeah. Isn't it
Randy Orton. He's a wrestler. I get that a lot too.
That's funny.
I
get that.
Crooked nose. I don't know.
I get that dude, the chef dude. He's an older gentleman, got glasses, ripped as can be. I'm like, I wish I was that dude.
Yeah, that's what I said. I want Kevin Feige's money. The guy that made DC. He's the president of DC Marvel. Take his money with Kevin or with Randy Orton's muscles. I'll take two of that.
Yeah, be a tight deal.
And then he's like if you and Nick from SVS kind of combine, then you could be Canelo.
There you
know
go.
Who that is?
Do I know?
You know who that is?
Yeah, for sure.
The fighter?
Yeah. Yeah, man. He's like the Irish Latino.
Nice. Nice.
Well, hey, the Rob Dyrdek thing is cool because he's a really nice guy. I met him back in the day, so he's really cool.
I get the young Kurt Russell too sometimes.
Young Kurt Russell, interesting. I'm getting the young Jeff Goldblum a lot recently from new people. I don't know.
That's not bad.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's it's cool in '97, then it wasn't cool for a while, and now it's cool again. I like him. He's funny. Some good movies.
Look at that. You keep it real, Brandon. There it is.
I like it. Respect.
So definitely. So a couple of weeks ago, we started something kind of new on the channel, and that is kind of a after party. And so we get a chance to kind of hang out with the guest, give you an opportunity to pop into a video chat live, be able to ask questions, ask Brandon, maybe questions you didn't get answered here. And so we'd love to have you be a part of that. And to be a part of that, you need to head over to patreon.com/dailyhifi. We're going to be continuing to do this every week right after the show. Typically, we try to do it for about an hour, but I know last week we hung out for 2 hours, and then you guys kept on going. So it's your party.
It's definitely a thing.
You can party however long you want to, but we'll definitely pop in there. And like I said, usually about an hour, and then we'll kind of dip out. I'm probably going to have to dip out just a little bit early today. I'm trying to wrap up a 100-page website for a client. So it's just a massive project, but we're trying to go live with that later tonight. So head over to patreon.com/dailyhifi. A couple of options there. So check that out. We'd love to have you be a part of that and come hang out with us. Yeah, man.
The after show. It's like the Peach Pit after dark, Brandon. Like the Peach Pit after
dark. There you go. That's the first 90210 reference. I like
yeah, he emailed me and I'm like, oh, dude, I'm getting 90210 vibes. Brandon Walsh? I was like,
go,
I actually had to like verify with Sasha. I'm like, wait, wasn't it Walsh? Is that's the name, right? And he's like, how did you know?
it was a good thing, and when I was in grade school, people loved it. I got to high school, I got teased, and when I got to college, all my friends used it to get girls. So yeah, that name has been part of my life for quite a while, man.
It's great.
Pretty funny.
It's great. Yeah.
People are trying to figure out what you have in the corner there.
Oh, right here.
The computer.
Oh, that's my computer. These are my little LED guys.
Almost looks like a shotgun back there. Is what they're saying.
Oh,
is that your
thing?
mic
No,
stand?
It's like light stands.
Boom mic, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
A boom stand. Yeah, it's just literally has been sitting there.
They can't tell if it's an AK-47.
Optimus is about to get crazy right now. He's like, "Oh, what's up? We talking about guns? What?
Oh man, Optimus's gun situation's awesome.
Look, Optimus is like getting out his guns right now. He's like, "What? What's going on here? Let's talk about it on Patreon."
Yeah. Hilarious. Yeah, actually, somebody wanted to know what your computer stats were, or your PC.
My computer, yeah, I have it's a 2070 Super graphics card.
That's what I got.
And then I got a Vengeance. There's a Vengeance RBG, like 64 gigs of DDR4, or whatever. And it's just it's a 10th gen i7. I wanted to get a 3070, but it's hard to find. So, but this is great. I mean, my editor, one of the editors I use, it takes him like 15 minutes to like export or to make the video, and I can like export it in like 3 minutes with this thing. So it's pretty solid. It's very.
So you use an editor, huh? Nice.
Yeah. Well, I have a guy that just kind of cleans it up and cleans the audio up a little bit and throws some music in there, just because for me, it's like I'm still learning all this as I go. And we never even touched on this funny thing. I made a video in 2007 that I never uploaded, and so I should have 10 million subscribers by now. But no. I'm just kidding.
Oh, buddy, you need to upload it though.
Oh, I don't even know if we have it anymore. We bought like this really expensive Panasonic camera. It was like this big, it was this massive thing.
Mm-hmm, like
and we spent like 20 grand on all this crap, and we never uploaded the video. So
whoa.
Yeah, it was nuts, but things were crazy. But yeah, that's why my channel says I started in 2007, because I opened it under my name, and then I never changed it. And I just used that one. Nice. But yeah, no, that's a good computer. I like it. When it's like really working hard, it sounds like it's raining outside just a little bit. It's just like a little bit of like pitter patter. It never makes much noise at all. It's pretty quiet.
So you're not taxing it at all with whatever.
No, it's not. I mean, when I'm rendering a video, I start opening programs just to mess with it, and it still is like 30%. It's crazy. Like open Photoshop, and I'm like doing a bunch of stuff, and I've got Premiere. It's like
you're trying to put like 2 heads on your body, 6 fingers, like 5 legs.
It's tough it's working pretty good. It's a good computer.
The one thing I'm doing all the time since I got that Zappiti and stuff is I'm just ripping movies. Anytime this computer is not occupied, it's ripping a movie.
I want to hear more about this. Yeah.
I think I got 100 movies, and it's about 5 terabytes. And Seagate sent me 36 terabytes. Oh man, it's gonna take me a little while to get that. I don't even have that many movies.
I'll send you a hard drive and my address, and you can just send them on over. Okay.
I don't know what you're saying, bro.
That's the majority of our discussion on on the after shows about Plex.
Oh,
yeah, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
Plex, all kinds.
It looks so much better when you get the movies on. When you're watching them like that, it looks so much better than streaming.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah. Uncompressed. It's crazy. You know what we'll do is last time we said, just join so people could see what it was about. We had a good amount of people back in the after show. So this time we'll do something in between. Right now we have it limited, so it would be the $10 to be able to join the after show, and limited to 50 people, just because that's the max number of people we can have back there without it getting too crazy. But for right now, I think we'll just make it for the $5 tier. You can get in there too. Just for right now, and then we'll change it up later on. But if you want to join right now, you can cancel it, next month. So it's $5. So
that's it.
I made it the $5 tier right now.
So good, good time to use the restroom.
Then go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go
In between, you can definitely go hit it.
Yeah.
We'll wrap up here in a second.
But if you want to hang out, talk to us, talk to Brandon, and ask him all the questions that you weren't able to get answered this time, well, that's your chance. So you know where to go. Patreon.com/Daily HiFi.
That's right. And don't forget to check out Brandon's channel. It's called Be the Installer, because you can be the installer.
Word.
Right. I like that. That's
very
clever.
You can be the installer.
And like, dude, the videos are great, man. I'm like,
I appreciate it.
I really need to do some cable. You know what? Cable management is probably a good topic, dude. You do a cable management video, I think that would blow up.
I'm gonna do an accessory one where I'm gonna go over all my favorite things to like trip out a TV. You know, like just like lights and just like little things, make like some cool stuff. Like cable management, HD cords, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I'm not a huge bias lighting fan. You know, I'm not about that. Like, you know, I want my OLED to like, you know, I want to turn off the lights and I want the TV to disappear, right? The black bars just disappear into the darkness. So, you know, putting lights on the back, you know, like putting lights on the back of that, I'm like, I want to do that. You know?
I like it when the TV's not on. You know what I mean? Like just the
just to like frame it.
Yeah. But when I'm watching something, I don't want it on. Every once in a while, I'll put on my LEDs around my screen when I'm playing games, but definitely not with the movies. My kids like it with the movies, but I'm thinking, man, my eyes are so distracted. I see the lights. I'm like, it pulls me out of the experience of the movie.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, man.
What you call it? So
I mean,
there you go.
Some links down
He's pulling
here.
a Chana. Look at there.
There you go.
I gotta get it. It's there. Sorry.
Don't leave after don't leave right now. So after
don't hit leave studio. Everybody does that.
To join the after show.
We say bye, they click bye. We're like, crap, where'd they go?
Stay here. Chana will take care of it.
Yeah. Yeah, don't you worry about that. So yeah, there's a Brandon, there's a on the right it says private chat. So there's a link for you to go into the other into the after show. But yeah, you know, I know a lot of people were saying, I know Reginald was like, I got 400 movies. That's going to take me forever. Like, honestly, it's like an hour a movie. And I just like run downstairs, pop it in the new disc, start it, leave, go do something else. I'm stoked, man. Got all these discs ready to go. All these movies ready to go. Ready for my TV comparisons and all that kind of nonsense. And yes, I guess that is about it, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. So thank you for joining us on this Monday, this wonderful Monday. Oh, right. Happy New Year.
First of the year, baby.
Happy New Year. I was just such a freaking tool on Saturday, too, when I did my 6-hour DJ stream. I'm like, all right, bye, guys. And then I was just like, I hit the stream ending thing, and then I came back, and I'm like, hey, I'm such a retard. Happy New Year. So, yes, again, Happy New Year. This is the first podcast we're doing here in 2021. I hope everybody had a good New Year, and, you know, all the best from us here at Daily HiFi for your 2021. All right. So, yes, thank you, Brandon, for coming and hanging out. And
thank you, guys.
Again, don't hit the leave studio button. My name is Chana. On behalf of Michael and Joe, we will see you guys, well, some of you in the after show, but we'll see the rest of you next week. Peace.
Peace.